Good morning, good afternoon, welcome on this channel. In another episode, I show you how to use AWS System Manager, Session Manager to make SSH connection from any client machine to an Amazon EC2 instance without using SSH, meaning no security group to manage, no public-private key to manage, no bastion host, just using the System Manager, Session Manager API. So have a look at the other episode if you missed that one. In this one, I'm going to go a bit deeper into the subject and show you how you can create an SSH tunnel, or the equivalent of an SSH tunnel, a tunnel between two different machines using AWS System Manager, Session Managers. I wrote a blog post about that a couple of months ago. It was in last summer actually, and the setup I want to replicate with SSM, the one I was able to do with SSH, and I would like to do with a Session Manager System Manager, Session Manager as well, is this one. It's a very traditional setup if you are using SSH. A tunnel, an SSH tunnel, it's a way to encapsulate traffic between a client machine and a server machine. Basically, you connect over SSH to the remote machine, and you ask the SSH to start a server on your local machine, on my laptop, and to forward all the traffic coming on that server on my laptop to a specific destination reachable from the server side. So imagine that you have a machine running in a private subnet, and you want to quickly connect to the web server running on that machine. Or you have an LDAP server or database server which is not accessible from on-prem, not accessible over the internet. So the idea is to create a secure connection to that machine, create a server on your laptop, and on the laptop say, hey, capture all the traffic there, send it to the remote machine, and on the remote machine you then send it to the actual destination. With SSH, the actual destination might even be another machine, and you can create tunnels of tunnels like that. It's super powerful. So how do you do that with AWS System Manager or Session Manager? It's quite easy actually, and I will demo that with a setup, very classical setup. I will create a VPC with private and public subnet. In the private subnet, so without having a public IP address, I'm going to put a machine with a web server, and that machine will have the possibility to connect to the public internet through a NAT gateway which sits in the public subnet. I will install the SSM agent there, and I will install Nginx as a web server. And I will show you that with an SSM tunnel, I will be able to connect to that web server from my laptop here, even if that machine has no public IP address, no SSH key, no route to connect to the internet. It just goes through the NAT gateway. So to create that setup, I wrote a CDK script that you can find on my GitHub, and I will put the link in the notes of this episode. So the script is super easy. It creates a VPC with just one availability zone, takes the reference of the private subnet there. It creates an IAM role, because remember, if you watch the other episode, you know that to connect on over a System Manager, Session Manager, your EC2 instance need to have a role that authorizes to call the System Manager API. So I'm creating a role there and adding a policy, a managed policy to that role. I'm creating user data. You know, these are these small scripts that are executed at the first boot of the machine. Here I'm just making sure it's not necessary actually, it's just double security to have the latest version of the SSM agent installed, and I also install Nginx, so my web server will be there and running. Then I create an EC2 instance with an Amazon Linux image. I choose a T3 instance in that private subnet with that role and that user data. That actual script takes a while to execute because it needs to create the VPC, the subnets, the EC2 instance, so it takes 2-3 minutes to execute. I don't want to do that during that video, so I just started before I start recording that video. So it means that the result there in my EC2 console is that I have a machine running called Newsblock instance, and that's the one that has been created by my CDK script. A few things to notice: it has no public IP address, so I cannot connect to a web server there. It has no SSH connection authorized. It has just any connection authorized from other machines that are in the same security group, which my laptop is not, obviously. And it has an IAM role that has been created by the CDK as well. So I can connect to that machine using Session Manager, just to show you that the connection is working, and actually I have Nginx running on that machine. Maybe I should do that a bit bigger so that you can see. And if we see on what port we have process listening, we can see that we have a process listening on port 80. So we have a web server running on that machine. Let's try to make a tunnel to that machine. To make the tunnel, you can just use the AWS command line with the SSM service. So the exact command is in the blog post, and I will copy paste it. It's much easier. But let's have a look at the details of that session. First, my machine is not in my default region, it's in Paris region, so I will set up the region. And then let's have a look at that. AWS, that's the command line, SSM, start session, target to instance ID. Oh, it means I need to specify the instance ID. So let's go back to the console to pick up the instance ID. Here it is. Up, instance ID. So AWS SSM start session to that target. The document name is called start port forwarding session, and the parameter is port number 80, that's the destination on the host, and the local port number is 1999. So what SSM will do here, it will start a local server on my laptop, listening on port 9999, and all traffic which is received on that port will be forwarded on the remote EC2 instance and sent back to port 80 over there. And port 80 is Nginx, it's my web server. So let's start the tunnel, and it says that the machine is not connected. Maybe I missed something in the region, so let's do that again here. And no, it's open. Yeah, it was something wrong in my environment variable, not a big deal. Okay, so now I have my tunnel, so it means on my laptop I have a server listening on 1999. So if I connect to localhost 1999, look at what we have. We have Nginx, and I'm on my laptop, and that machine is in a private subnet, no public IP address, no SSH, no keys, no security group. So that's how you can connect to service. Imagine it can be a database, it can be an LDAP server, it can be any type of server you want to temporarily connect to without all the overhead of the infrastructure that you might have when you are running with SSH, such as a Bastion host, for example. So thank you for watching. Please leave me your comment. This is my Twitter and my GitHub, where you will find the code. Please leave comments on this video here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified when we are going to post new video. See you soon. Thank you.